Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Amina. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Honestly, I never thought I'd be sitting here telling this story. It feels surreal every time I think about it. But something happened to me a few months ago that changed everything. It was a normal day. I was on the subway heading to school. Suddenly, everything went black. I don't remember the crash, but the next thing I knew, I was somewhere else. Somewhere bright and peaceful, but also overwhelming. I was told I had died. Yeah, I died, and I wasn't ready. At first I was confused, scared, but then I saw a figure, calm, loving, radiant. It was Jesus. Not the Jesus I had heard about in stories, but real, alive, and full of mercy. I wanted to reach out to him, but I felt empty. And then he handed me a rosary, a string of beads I'd never seen before. I didn't understand what it was, but I felt an urgent need to hold it, to pray with it, to have it with me. I begged him, "Please, teach me how to use this. I want to understand." Jesus told me that this rosary was powerful, a tool to bring peace, healing, and protection, especially for people like me who had never known him fully. He showed me that even though I grew up Muslim, his love was for me, and that the rosary was a way to connect with him and his mother Mary. When I woke up back in the hospital, I was begging the nurses for a rosary. I wanted to learn more, to pray, to be close to Jesus. My whole life changed that day, and I want to share my story with you, because if you're searching, confused, or lost, there's hope. Jesus loves you, no matter where you come from. When I came back to life, everything felt different. The sterile hospital room, the machines beeping, the doctors and nurses talking, it all felt like a distant echo compared to the brightness and peace I had just experienced. But more than that, my heart was on fire with a new hunger, a deep longing I didn't fully understand at first. I kept thinking about that rosary Jesus gave me. I didn't know anything about it. No one in my family used it. We never prayed like that. In my Muslim upbringing, prayer looked different, but now I felt like that string of beads held a key, a connection to something real, something alive. I begged the nurses to bring me a rosary. Some looked surprised, but they found one for me. I held it tightly, feeling an unexplainable comfort and strength flow through me. I asked questions, wanting to learn how to pray with it, what the prayers meant, why it was so important to Jesus. Jesus told me that the rosary is a powerful prayer tool that brings peace and guidance, especially in times of fear and confusion. He explained how it honors his mother Mary, who is a loving mother to everyone. I started praying the rosary, fumbling over the words at first. But day by day, I felt closer to Jesus and Mary. It was like a bridge between my past and this new path I was walking. My family was shocked when I told them about what happened. Some were confused, others worried. It wasn't easy to explain dying and seeing Jesus and then coming back begging for a rosary, but I knew I couldn't keep this to myself. I realized that Jesus' love breaks all barriers, even religious ones. He came for everyone, no matter their background or past beliefs. And this rosary? It's not just beads, it's a lifeline, a way to bring his peace into the chaos of life. Now, every day, I carry my rosary. I pray for my family, for my friends, for my city. I pray for those who don't yet know the love I found. If you're watching this and you feel lost or distant from God, please know that he's reaching out to you too. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, his mercy is endless. And sometimes, all it takes is one prayer, one bead, to start a new journey. As the days passed, my story started to spread. Friends, neighbors, even people I didn't know were reaching out. Some were curious, others skeptical, but many wanted to hear what I experienced firsthand. I didn't have all the answers, but I knew one thing for sure. Jesus was real, and his love was more powerful than anything I'd ever imagined. The rosary became more than just a prayer tool for me. It became a symbol of hope and healing. It was something tangible I could hold on to in moments of fear and doubt. When the city felt cold and overwhelming, the rosary reminded me I was never alone. I also started learning about Mary, the mother of Jesus, from people who had welcomed me with open hearts. They told me she's a mother to all, a gentle guide who intercedes for us before Jesus. It was a beautiful surprise because growing up, I didn't know much about her except from passing mentions. In my near-death vision, I remember Jesus saying, "The Rosary is a weapon against darkness, a shield for my children." I didn't fully understand that then, but now I feel it every time I pray. It's like an armor, giving me strength to face challenges, especially being young and Muslim in a city filled with so much noise and confusion. My family has had their struggles accepting my new faith journey. Some have been supportive in quiet ways, others openly resistant. It's been hard, but I believe Jesus is working on their hearts too. I pray the Rosary for them daily, asking Mary to intercede and soften their hearts. I want to tell anyone watching this, faith isn't about where you start. It's about where your heart is willing to go. Jesus reached out to me when I was at my lowest, in the middle of the subway, confused and scared. He gave me a rosary to hold, to pray, to guide me back to Him. And if you feel lost, maybe He's reaching out to you too. No matter your background, no matter your past, His love can find you. And sometimes, the smallest things, like a string of beads, can change everything. After my near-death experience and my return to life, everything about how I saw the world changed. I realized that faith is not confined to one religion or tradition. It's a personal encounter with the living God. I grew up in a Muslim household with a deep respect for my faith, but that experience opened my eyes to something beyond what I had known. The Rosary, which once seemed foreign, became a symbol of God's love, reaching across boundaries. I learned it's not just a prayer tool for Catholics. It's a way to meditate on the life of Jesus, to reflect on His sacrifice, and to invite peace and healing into your heart. Jesus showed me that Mary is a loving mother for everyone, a bridge of mercy between us and her Son. Holding the Rosary, praying the decades, I felt her gentle presence, comforting and guiding me like a mother's hug. I also realized that God's mercy is limitless. No matter what religion we are born into or what mistakes we have made, Jesus is always ready to welcome us back when we turn to Him. After sharing my story, I met others who had similar experiences, people from all walks of life who found hope in the Rosary and the love of Jesus. I'm still learning every day, and my journey isn't over, but I know this for sure. The Rosary changed my life. It brought me peace in the chaos, clarity in confusion, and love in loneliness. To anyone watching, especially those who feel distant from God or stuck in old beliefs, I want you to know there's always a way to find Him. Maybe that way starts with a simple prayer, a single bead, a moment of openness. Jesus reached out to me in the darkest moment, and He can reach out to you too. You're not alone. After everything I went through, the changes in my life have been profound and sometimes difficult. Walking this new path hasn't been easy, especially being young, Muslim-born, and now following Jesus in a city like New York. The challenges aren't just external, but deeply personal. Family tensions, questions from friends, the feeling of being caught between two worlds. But through it all, the Rosary has been my anchor. When anxiety or fear threaten to overwhelm me, I hold those beads and pray. Each prayer helps me focus, calms my spirit, and reminds me of the mercy that saved me that day in the subway. I remember times when I felt completely alone, misunderstood, or rejected. In those moments, praying the Rosary connected me to a bigger story, a story of grace, hope, and unconditional love. It's helped me face not just my past, but the uncertainties of my future with courage. I've begun sharing my experience with others, hoping to inspire hope and healing. Some listen and are curious, others are skeptical or even hostile, but I don't let that stop me, because the message is too important. Jesus isn't bound by religion. He loves all His children and calls each of us to Him in our own way. For me, it was through that simple string of beads. I've seen how powerful the Rosary can be, not just for me, but for many people who've embraced it as a prayer of peace and strength. If you feel lost or scared, I want you to know that you can find peace too. It doesn't matter where you're from or what you believe. Jesus' love reaches farther than we can imagine. And sometimes it starts with a single prayer whispered through beads held in trembling hands. If my story helps even one person take a step toward him, then everything I went through was worth it. Since that day, I've been on a journey of discovery, learning about Jesus, Mary, and the beautiful traditions of the Rosary. It's been like opening a door to a whole new world filled with peace, hope, and love. Every prayer brings me closer to the heart of God. I've also started meeting people from all backgrounds who have found comfort in the Rosary. Some are Catholic, others come from different faiths. But what unites us is the experience of encountering Jesus through these prayers. The Rosary isn't just a ritual, it's a conversation with God. It's a way to meditate on Jesus' life, his suffering, his victory over death, and his endless mercy. Holding those beads, I feel connected not only to Jesus, but to a worldwide community of believers praying for peace and healing. I know my journey isn't finished. There are still questions, challenges, and fears, but I've learned that faith is a process, a daily walk, not a destination. If you're feeling lost, I encourage you to try praying the Rosary. Don't worry if you don't understand all the words or the prayers at first. Just hold the beads, breathe deeply, and open your heart. Jesus is waiting. He's ready to meet you wherever you are with open arms and endless love. I'm grateful every day for that moment in the subway when everything changed. And I hope my story encourages you to seek him too, because no matter your background or past, his mercy is for everyone. This is just the beginning. One of the most profound things I've learned is how powerful prayer can be, not just for me, but for others too. Since my experience, I've started praying for my family, my community, and even strangers. The Rosary has become my daily companion, my source of strength and comfort. I remember praying for my parents who are still unsure about my journey. I ask Mary, the mother of Jesus, to touch their hearts and help them understand. It's not always easy, and sometimes I feel lonely in this path, but the prayers give me hope. I've also experienced moments when the Rosary brought peace in the middle of chaos, whether it was fear on the subway, anxiety before exams, or the pain of feeling disconnected. Those beads remind me that Jesus is with me always, even in the darkest times. I've met others who've had similar encounters, people from all walks of life who found their way to Jesus through the Rosary's prayers. It's a beautiful reminder that God's love crosses all boundaries and heals all wounds. To anyone watching, especially those from different faiths or backgrounds, I want to say, don't be afraid to seek God. He's waiting for you, just like he waited for me. The Rosary was a lifeline in my darkest hour. It can be for you too. This journey is ongoing, and I'm excited to see where God leads me next. As I bring this story to a close, I want to leave you with one final truth. God's mercy knows no limits. No matter your background, no matter your past, he is always ready to welcome you with open arms. My near-death experience was a radical encounter with that mercy, a moment where everything changed, where love broke through fear and confusion. Jesus didn't just save me physically, he saved my soul and gave me a new purpose. The Rosary, which once seemed foreign and strange, became a powerful tool of prayer, healing, and connection. It brought me closer to Jesus and Mary in ways I never expected. I still face challenges, family doubts, cultural questions, personal struggles, but I walk this path with faith, hope, and an open heart. To anyone out there who feels lost, afraid, or unsure, please know that you are not alone. Jesus is reaching out to you, and sometimes all it takes is one prayer, one bead, one moment of openness to start a new journey. If my story encourages you to seek him, to pray, or to simply open your heart to God's love, then I'm grateful beyond words. Thank you for listening, and may you find the peace and hope that I found in those beads and in the love of Jesus.